Page 43, Russian dance. In this lesson, they're introducing you to key signatures. Key. See, the word key in music has several different meanings. Because a thing on a piano, this lever, that's called a key. Sometimes they call it a key, sometimes they call it a note. I would call it anything, who knows. And in music, the harmony, the set of harmony, because different keys sound different. The key of C sounds with the key of F, or the key of B flat, and the harmonies are different. So they're keys. Well, a key signature simply tells you what key you're in, what group of sharps or flats you're in. You see, a time signature tells you the time, the counting. That's the signature for the counting. Well, the signature for the key is what is the harmony that we're going to use. Now it's time to start thinking, in my opinion, on scales. They have not introduced scales to you yet, but I am, because I'm a mean teacher. I have a whole set of videos on all the major and minor scales, and I think it's time for you to start learning the scales if you're going to start thinking key signatures. When I was little and getting this kind of stuff, I'd have to go through, I'd see that sharp at the beginning of the lines, and if a note were on those lines on either side, it's an F. It's telling you all the F's in the piece are going to be F sharps automatically. So I would have to go through and say, where are the F's and what's going on, and it's a pain. And when you get 4 or 5 sharps in a piece, trying to remember which. But I found, once I was in college and learned how to do it properly, that if I knew the scale with one sharp in it, in that key, I could just play the notes in the scale. They're all jumbled up because they're mixed up, but the point is there's the notes in the scale. And I would automatically play F sharps when I get to them because there's an F sharp in that key. And I found that so much easier. At that point, it doesn't matter what the key signature is. You can play in any key signature. They're all as easy as it. I'm trying to say they're all about the same. There's no difficult ones once you know the scales. So I'm trying to sell you on the idea of learn the scale, and it will help you on playing these pieces. It'll also help your technique a great deal. I explain the trills and wrist thing. It's really important that you do all of those. So since they're giving you a sharp here, that is the key of G major. So you go to my playlist on scales and bookmark it or make a shortcut to it or something. The link to it is in the description of pretty much all the videos. Find the scale video for G major, and you do the beginner portion, the 1 octave up and down. Just do everything. Don't leave anything out. If you don't get it all, you're not going to get the full benefit. Do everything I explain in that scale video for the beginner portion, because I do beginner, intermediate, and advanced in the same video because I'm too lazy to make multiple videos on them. But just don't try and go to intermediate or advanced right now. I'm going to do it all. That truly is a mistake. Just stick with the beginner part. Just 1 octave up and down, good enough. Learn the scale. That's what we're after. However, let's talk this. The key signature now becomes one of the things I have to look at when I'm looking a piece over. It's part of the process now. So I look it over, I see it's page long or 4 lines or whatever. The clef signs are treble and bass clef again. The key signature is next because I kind of take them in order they appear. The key signature, there's 1 sharp. That means all the F's anywhere in the piece are automatically going to be played as F sharps. If they want F naturals, they'd have to put a natural sign in front of it. And it's a 4/4 time. So I see a bunch of quarter notes and eighth notes and half notes. Let's take it one hand at a time, make sure we understand what each hand is doing. Right hand, little finger here, that puts you in this position. Just quarter notes. Just make sure you can play it okay. 3 and get the idea. Now at the end of the first line, they want you to come back for the second line They want you to come down here. So your little finger's on the B. So I'm going to come down here. Just lift up and move. That's okay. Just lift up and move. Now I'm in this position. And again, the F sharp. Now the F sharp becomes part of the hand position because it's in the key signature. See, if it were not in the key signature, the hand position would be all the white keys. But now it is, so my hand goes here. Finger goes. Then at the end of the second line, you're here. And the third line, you got to come back up. Just lift up and move. You have to look down for this at first. Eventually, you'll learn that distance, and you won't have to look anymore. But right now, that's fine. Just look here, and you're back to what you were doing. And then at the end of the third line, you're here. Go on to the last line. You got to come down again. Okay. So you're moving around a little bit in the right hand. Left hand, let's see what it's up to. Starting here. It's the same notes as the right hand was playing. You're just down here. And again, you're going to have to move. Just come down one. The left hand's moving with the right hand in the same place because you're playing the same notes an octave. And then in the third line, you're coming back up here. However, now you have 2 beats of rest. So you just come up anytime. So get your right hand up there and start playing. And as the right hand is playing, then you can get the left hand up and do the G, D. That's what you're doing there. Till the end of the line, it's a D sharp. And they have a 1-5. That's okay, but it puts your hand up here. And if you have big hands and fat fingers, that doesn't work very well. So in that case, use second finger on it. So you can stay out here. I generally will use second finger because I like to stay out here as much as possible. And then for the last line, you're back down here. They want 2 and 4 on this. I don't understand why. Because on that last line, you can play all of those notes in this position. You don't need to change hand positions. You can stay right there. And then the next one is a G and an A here. I mean, they're the awkward fingers, but don't shy away from the awkward fingers. You're just lowering the hand down, letting the weight push the notes down. And then the last 2 measures, the G is tied, and as you're holding it down, you're going to do a C, A, and then here. So again, the last 2 measures is 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. You can use fingering in the book if you want to. You want to be down here, but I don't see any point in it. If you were my student, I would want you to stay there and use the 4 and 5 fingers. Then we put the hands together. Well, at the beginning, it's same notes, same rhythm. Then you get the end of the first line, you're here. Both hands come down. You may have to practice that. You look down. You're not going far. You know where you are, you know where you need to be, and which fingers are involved. I want to go from these fingers to these fingers. You just practice. We do practice hand moves when we need to, because you can't mess up the beat. Here. At the end of the second line, you're here. Again, we're coming up, but this time the left hand has a rest. So go ahead and get the right hand going, and as it's playing, then you can move the right hand, or the left hand. Here. And at the end of the third line, you're here. Now the right hand comes down. I suggest you leave your left hand there. You don't need to move it. Just get right hand down. But the last 2 measures, look out. Just take it slow and easy. You're here, and then here, these, and these, and this. So, because it's just got things all getting tied up here, and you take it slow and easy, over and over and over, 100 times or whatever, and slowly work it out so you get it. It feels funny, but a lot of piano playing does. So it's where you can play it without any hesitations, eventually. And if you're not moving around, you don't need to look at the keyboard either, I hope. Now, once you have the notes and the rhythms working out, get rid of the hesitations. And once those are gone for now, because they'll come back and you have to work them out again, then we think about the articulation. We've got slurs and accents. When they don't give you anything, go ahead and connect them or pretend to connect them. Accent. Now you can look up for the phrases. It's almost like they're two measure phrases. So like taking a breath. Yeah. I'm not sure what their phrasing is there at the end of the first line. In my opinion, you could connect those last two measures together. Then lift up. Well, you have to move, so that's handy. Now in the third line, connect them. Accent. And you have the two neutral lines over the, hang on to them, the full, don't cut them short. And again, I think you could connect these in two measure phrases if you wanted to. It's my opinion. Other people would do it different. And once I have the articulation sort of understand it, then I'll think about the dynamics. F at the beginning is loud. That makes the accented note a very loud note. And that swell, you got two hairpins at the end of the line. So you're going to go out louder and back. We call it a swell. Swell up and back down. You're going to go up to very loud and back down. I don't know. We'll see. Now the second line, come down a little bit to just moderately loud. Boom. At the end of the second line, you come down to sort of soft. Each note is a little softer. And then the third line, you're back to loud again. Fourth line, back down to moderately. And then the last two measures, you get a dim and a piano. Dim means gradually gets softer, diminuendo, and then your piano in the last measure. So you're going from moderately loud to soft is all that is. Softer, softer, just gradually a little softer. If you can't do it one note at a time, then do it two notes at a time. So here is moderately loud, moderately soft, soft. Yeah, you feel it. There's no set, well, this has got to be this way. You feel it. But that third measure at the bottom, starts moderately loud. You don't change where the diminuendo is. You change after it. The change starts there. So you're still moderately loud there. Yeah. As far as the speed goes, they don't give one, but it's a dance. So pretend people are moving to this, not super fast, but they're moving to it. However, they put a poco rit at the bottom. I have a problem with that. Poco means a little, and rit is short for retardando, which means gradually slow down. They just want you to gradually slow down a little bit. My problem with that is if it's a dance and people are moving to it, don't slow down. You mess them up. You got to keep a steady beat going. Otherwise, they pretty much have to stop dancing when you slow down. Please don't copy me. You can take it at a different speed. Play around and get into it. Feel the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. If you need to, exaggerate them. Feel these. 1, 2. Let the wrist collapse a little bit on them. Get into the music. Start feeling the music a little bit. You see the stems in the last two measures? The last measure, the stems are going different. Well, that's partially because they're different values, but it's also because there's two voices. The one here, and the other voice is the G. Two voices. Just be aware of that because it can affect the interpretation when you start thinking about multiple voices. What is this voice doing? Because sometimes you want to get louder in one voice but not the other, or whatever. Just be aware of it. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. This is after you can play it slowly with no hesitations. I'm not going to do any louds and softs. We're not performing it, just notes and rhythms. I will do the accents, and I'll try and lift up in the right hand, both hands, every couple of measures or so for the phrasing. You don't really have to. I mean, you feel it. How do you feel it? Should be. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. And off.